Hey, this is David at MyNAMS.com and the Novice to Advanced Marketing System, and it is our Wednesday afternoon weekly live training. We always try to have experts on every Wednesday afternoon at 2:30 Central, 3:30 Eastern, and whatever that is Pacific. I've lost count of the math part right there. But in any case, we always try to have on people who really are rocking it in a specific area, a tactic, a strategy. And luckily for me, I get to meet lots of great people who are experienced and have great expertise in specific areas because I introduce them at the workshop, bring them into the workshop, and we get to know each other. These two guys are two of my favorite people to work with because they are so accommodating, they're so easy to work with, so customer focused, so willing to help me do anything I need at the workshop, and I love working with these guys and talking to them. And it's Daniel Hall down here. Right here's Daniel Hall. Say hello, Daniel.
Hello, everyone. So glad to be here. Thank you, David.
You bet. And we got Mike Stewart out on his deck up at the Georgia Lake.
Hey, David and Daniel. You know, this is where I love to be, so why else would I be not here? You know, this is what this business allows me to do, to be the places I like.
We just don't want you to get sunburned out there, Mike. Okay?
No. I have a nice umbrella here. I'm good.
So one of the things that, and Mike kind of alluded to it there, is that one of the things that we get to do in this kind of a business is actually do what we want to do, where we want to do it, when we want to do it, if we know how to do it. And that's what the weekly live training is always about. For example, I'm taking the next 15 days off for vacation, and I expect my business to grow a bunch because I have all of my autoresponders, all of my promotions, all of my stuff already ready, and people lined up to handle all of that material while I'm gone. And so we're going to dig in today in ways to do that in multiple channels. Now, I knew about multiple channels years ago when I was in the corporate consulting world because I was one of the first guys to start up a big telecom online presence about 1998, 1999. I put in their first bill payment system, and I watched that bill payment go from 0 in January to 120 million in collections by the end of the year, and it was awesome to see people respond in just a small way in the online world then to that was just your straight .com online e-commerce type bill payment system. But since then, there are so many different ways to get cracking with your marketing online. We need to keep track of that. We need to find out what's working. And Mike and Daniel have developed systems that will teach us what to do here. So I'm turning it over to Daniel and Mike. You guys go for it, and we will sit back and listen.
All right, cool. Well, thank you, David. First off, what I'm going to do for folks, so that you know, we're going to run a very interactive show. So I'll be asking questions and whatnot throughout the presentation. And feel free to comment and ask questions throughout the presentation. But I'm going to actually be switching here to my my presentation, if I could find it here. And
by the way, I will watch the questions so that we make sure we got any of those questions answered and as they come up, okay?
Great. So hopefully you should be seeing my screen now. It should say becoming a multi-channel and text marketing master for faster and easier profits. Do you all see that on your end, David?
Just fine, yep.
Great. Okay. So this is our presentation, and I'll tell you what, I'm really psyched about actually presenting this because as I sort of reflected and analyzed the successes that I've seen in my business, and I'm very grateful and very humble to say that I have had a lot of success in my business, but I could actually trace a lot of the sales and a lot of the profit in my business to this one overarching idea that I'm going to present to you today. And that idea is that I am constantly looking for ways to reach out and connect and bond and communicate with my target audience. In other words, you, okay, essentially. And I love some of the ways that we get to do that, and primarily it's for many of us anyway. It's been through email marketing. Some it's been primarily social media marketing and the like. And what I want to teach you here today, and Mike's going to come in and he's going to talk a little bit later on in the presentation, but essentially what we want to do today is show you how to use these platforms in tandem, okay, so that they are working synergistically together. Okay, and that's one of the things that we want to actually take you through in today's presentation, is setting up a lot of these different types of systems to do exactly that. And and the great news is, by the way, that many of them are very, very inexpensive. Okay, not very expensive at all to do. So let's actually jump in and let you know that today's presentation does in fact have a sponsor, and that sponsor is Real Fast Text Marketing. And surprise, surprise, we will have an offer for you, a very doggone good, I gotta say, doggone good offer for you at the end of today's presentation. But you're going to get lots of great and immediately usable content whether or not you take us up on that offer. So you definitely want to stick around to the very end, because we have a lot of really great step-by-step detailed information that basically is designed to put more money in your bank account, and I know that you're all about that, and as are we. We want that for you as well. Now, our promise here is essentially we're going to show you step-by-step how to set up several of these multi-channel marketing channels in your business and use them to get more money and get more leads and grow your authority in your field. Okay, so my question here, as usual, I usually ask this question about here, is that why you came today? Is that what your expectation was? And if there is a way there to respond, maybe David, you could just say, hey, folks are with me, and this is what folks are wanting, because I can't really see the responses coming in. So just let me know when we get those. So again, we know that we're all on the same page with regard to that.
I'll do that.
Cool. Now, a bit about who we are, in case you don't know. My name is Daniel Hall, and on this call with me is one of my best friends and one of my best business partners as well, Mike Stewart. And essentially, for me, I am basically an online publisher, publish a variety of things, both in the for the author, speaker, info product creator markets and other markets. Okay, and we publish a bunch of things like that, and a lot of them, thank God, sell, right, and keeps us in business and keeps us afloat. Actually, much more than that. So that's a good thing. And then my good friend Mike Stewart, I've got to credit Mike with helping me in my business going back some years now, 4, 5, maybe 6 years ago, because it was Mike Stewart that actually showed me how to actually do my very first webinar, and he demystified the process. And the great thing about this, and I've told this about Mike, in public before, but what Mike taught me has allowed me to go on and sell literally millions of dollars worth of products and service online, again, all because of Mike Stewart. And the reason I say that here at the beginning is that Mike is definitely somebody that you should be listening to as well if you want to do the same, okay? And Mike is known as the Internet Audio Guy, and the other thing that you may not know about Mike, but he is the guy that essentially is the guru's guru. So a lot of the gurus that you might know about out there actually go to Mike for a lot of the technical type of knowledge you know, when it comes to audio and video and now text marketing, as you will soon find out. Okay, so that's a bit about us. Now, let's actually jump into the presentation here. What is multi-channel marketing? Because you may not know. Essentially, it is using as many different ways to reach out and touch your target market as is possible. So I have a few listed here on the page for you. It could be things such as television, email, could be reviews, social networks, it could be things like RSS feeds, okay? Could be text marketing, could even be classify ads and Craigslist and things like that. Essentially, it is any vehicle that allows you to put out the word, you know, promote something or develop a stronger bond with your target market. Okay, that's for me, and that's the definition, and that's essentially what the definition I'm going to use in today's presentation. Now, why this is so important is something called frequency of message, because in the context of advertising, the number of times a person is exposed to an advertisement, or the number of times an advertisement is repeated through a specific medium over a specific time, is that message or frequency of message. And this actually rolls very nicely into the idea of something called the rule of 7. Because in marketing, this rule provides that your message must be heard in general, okay, on average, about 7 times by your prospect before they buy anything, okay? And they actually figured out the rule of 7 back in the 1930s. Actually, it was the movie industry that figured this out, particularly the B directors, or the budget movie directors, who basically learned that in order for somebody to go see one of their movies, they had that prospect for them was told about the movie at least 7 different times before they actually made the decision to go see it. Okay, so since that time, this has been one of the things that those of us in marketing are constantly striving to do, to get to that 7 touch points, I like to call it, with our target market, with whatever message we are putting out there. Okay, so why this is important to you is that the more times that you can get your message to the attention of your target audience, the more sales you're going to end up making. Okay, period. That's the end of the story. That's one of the reasons why you want to be developing as many different touch points and as many different channels as is possible. Okay, and essentially the more ways that you have to connect with your list, your community, okay, your platform, whatever word you want to use there, the more money that you're going to be able to make, and the more reliable your long-term profits are going to be. Okay, it's just as simple as that. And it really, I don't think any serious person would actually argue with that statement. So the process that I want to undertake here with you and showing you is how to essentially go and start with one channel. And if you know anything about me and the way I operate, I love to leverage, okay? I leverage everything I can. I leverage money, I leverage relationships, I leverage media, and I strongly suggest that you do the same. And I'm going to show you how here in just a second. So let's take the example of email. And I want to I'd really love to know how many of you already have an email list. It's really pretty important. But it's essentially not just taking folks, but using your email list to connect with somebody on Facebook. So now that you have 2 connection points, right? They're first on your email list. Next you can reach out and touch them on Facebook. Or in addition, you can start with doing webinars. As some of you probably know, I do a whole lot of webinars and Hangouts for that matter. And I get people on my list because I do so many webinars to other people's communities. So those folks, many of those folks that are in somebody else's community actually come to my webinar and end up on my email list. All right? And the same with, for example, Hangouts. We're right now on a Hangout. This is yet another channel that you could use to reach out and connect. And you could go back and reach out and connect with a Pinterest type of board too. Why? Because what you could do with a Hangout is you could cut and paste the code, the embed code, onto a Pinterest board and have that video actually playing on Pinterest. Okay, it could play concurrently or simultaneously with when the Hangout's going on. And when the Hangout is over, it will reside there as a pin, as a pinned video. Okay, again, perfect example. Twitter, same type of thing. You could run people into a webinar opt-in page. But the point is that you're cycling people, okay, through different touch points, different channels all the way through. Because here's another fact. Okay, that people will fall off of one channel or the other. They'll either unsubscribe or if in the example of an email, or more likely their USP or their ISP will start making your emails spam, and people have whatever, you have folks that unfollow you on Twitter, for example, or Pinterest, or unfriend you, or leave a group that you might be running on Facebook. Again, there is fall off. So you need to face that and to do what you can to mitigate that. And this is one way to do that. So you're running folks from one channel to another channel, to another channel, all the way through, and establishing as many different touch points with them as is possible. The beautiful thing once you have this set up is that you could do this really nice crossover promotion. That is, once you build one steady flow of leads, and then you can leverage that into many other channels, much the same way that I have done with my email list. Because essentially the nature of this business, I do a lot of webinars, and I diversify my leads into as many different channels as possible. Now, how I do this, and I really want you to asterisk this in your notes and watch this, because this is really, really pretty cool stuff. The way I do this is essentially on a thank you page. And so I have a thank you, here's what to do next page. And if any of you are on my list or have ever attended one of my webinars, there's no doubt you've probably seen a page that looks just like this. Okay, and this is I'm just going to tell you, it's a super easy page to set up. People have to land somewhere, okay, after they either opt into your email list, or opt into or buy your product, or subscribe to be on one of your webinars, or Hangouts, etc. People have to land somewhere, and where that somewhere is generally called the thank you page. Okay, and what I'm telling you is that when you set up your page that looks like this, or substantially similar to this, you can build a list passively, okay, and we're going to show you how to do that here in just a second, and also have and embed your thank you page with additional offers, so it actually is a revenue generator as well, okay? So that's if you're going to take one thing out of today's presentation, I want you to take this thing, because if you see the steps, you see where I go, step 1, step 2, step 3, etc. So folks have subscribed or opted into the webinar, okay, and this is the page they're gonna land on, and then you essentially the very first thing is a text message where people get an additional bag of goodies. I call it my grab bag, if they will subscribe to another one of my channels. Okay, they could either dial that telephone number or scan that QR code. the next thing going down the page is I have a closed Facebook group, okay? And I'm going to show you that in just a second because it's pretty wild as well. And let me also show you that I also send folks to my YouTube channel. Again, I use all of these channels. Sometimes I use only 2 of them at a time or 3 of them at a time. Sometimes if I really want, a big crowd at something, or I want a lot of eyeballs on a particular offer for a variety of reasons, I might use every single one of these channels. Now, here's the other thing, and I'm going to attempt to do this because I want you to direct your attention here to the private invitation to my Facebook group, because if I go over here and let's see if I could do that. So here is, can you still see my screen, David? Just want to make sure that you all can see, you can still see my screen.
Yes, I can.
Great. Okay, so it's showing you my Facebook thing, right? Okay.
It's showing the presentation still.
It's still showing the presentation. Okay, so let me take folks over to Facebook because I want you to see this. This is really crucial, and I want hopefully let me go back here and change. Where's the Hangout? Here's the Hangout, and we're going to go back here.
And while you're doing that, I'm going to tell people I put a poll in here that they should go click on the polls tab in the Webinar Jam app over here and choose their favorite channel, because I'd like to know which is their favorite channel right now, and I've given you some choices there.
Okay.
So go do that.
So do you see my screen now?
I do. There's your Facebook page.
Okay. So when people subscribe from that thank you page, they land here. This is where I send them. And a couple things I want to show you about this page and why it's so important that you set up one of these pages yourself. First off, it's completely free to set up one of these closed Facebook groups, and it's a private Facebook group. But here's the thing: look at and again, this has been done completely passively. But I have over 5,400 members in this group. It's a very active group. And you're saying, well, that's all well and good for you, Daniel, but what does that mean for me? Well, essentially, you can use this, again, to build a better relationship, bond with your community, and when you have something that you want them to see, you could create an event, much the way that I've done here just a few hours ago. I created this event, and what's really cool about this is you can create an event within your Facebook page. And let me go back here and actually show you how to create an event. But what I did is I just went up here at the very top of the page. I went to event and then create event. And then right over here is I filled in my my information right here. You see this? You put in your name, your details. By the way, if you're doing an event like this, put whatever link you want people to click on, the very first thing under your details. Okay? And see, I'm still interacting with folks right here. You see, that's the really cool thing about it. And listen to this. This is where I really want you to direct your attention. Do you see this little dialogue or this radio button here? Invite your friends. Okay, so essentially, when you set one of these up, as soon as I hit create, all of my my folks get invited to this event. Do you see how this is essentially another way to, again, reach out and touch people, because it'll ping people on Facebook through another channel, right? That, hey, there's, that you've been invited, right? I'm sure some of you have seen these before, and people will, again, reach out and connect with you. This is a completely free way to again, reach out and touch people and bond and get folks, to wherever you want to send them. Okay, so I wanted you to see just how easy and quick that is. Now, let me switch screens here again so that you can see. And yeah, I'd like. What do you all think of that? Are you digging on this, or what's the story?
So I'm writing notes on this, and you've already mentioned about 3 things that I'm going to be taking action on that I'm not doing already. So people, if they're not digging on this, they're missing the boat. So
okay, so great.
I'd love to hear from them in the chat box here.
Okay, cool. So here's the next thing I want to show you is that this is, now do you see my screen now, David? It should be
a delicate balance.
Great. Okay.
Yep.
So this is another thing. When you're communicating with your people, understand that it is a very delicate balance between you can't just hit people with offer, right? You need to be giving them quality free stuff as well as offers. Which, by the way, is one of the reasons why I love webinars and I love Hangouts, because at least the way I do Hangouts and webinars, as you can probably tell, is I always offer good quality free stuff and then offer something, right? So, but you basically earn the right to make the offer because you're already helping your folks, and that's very, very, very important. Obviously, you must be very picky about the offers that you do make so that they are truly helpful to your core audience. So, in other words, you need to vet everything that you bring before your people. Make sure that it works, that it's good quality, that the people behind it, if you're doing an affiliate offer, which I know a lot of folks on this call are, they're affiliates. Great, I do a lot of that myself. But make sure whoever you're promoting has your same business philosophy and taking care of your people. Okay, so again, that's very crucial if you want to, again, a long-term relationship with your folks. Then make sure your free stuff is good enough to sell. Okay, so this is a super important thing. Now, I want to change gears here and tell you a story about how back probably in 2008. Or so, maybe it was a little before then, maybe it was 2007. I was running along in my, with just an email list. That's all I had at the time, just an email list. I was big on building an email list. I still am, very much so. But this one circumstance came crashing down upon me, and it basically changed my paradigm. It shifted everything for me. Because what happened was I sent an email. That email, for whatever reason, had too many complaints, and my email provider essentially shut me down. They just shut me down, and I'm like, what? And I wasn't doing anything out of the ordinary. I wasn't doing anything that I would normally not be, not have been doing. But essentially, and I did eventually work it out within, a couple hours. I had gotten on the phone with my email provider, but it served as a huge wake-up call to me. And that wake-up call, I want you to benefit from, and it's this: that you need to have control with access to as many different through as many different channels as you can to your target market. Okay, because I know that just on a whim or somebody complaining, or I don't know, there's anything could happen out there, right? Have additional ways to reach out and touch your community. That's not just either email or social media or text. In other words, have multiple baskets for all of your eggs. Okay, that's really the message here. So that's what from that point forward, I started getting real interested in being able to communicate with people other than just email. Now, I still love email, use it extensively. It's still my primary way of communicating, but it's still not. It's not good to just have one thing, even if whatever that thing happens to be. Okay, so very important lesson. Now, Another hugely important lesson is that when you're using these multiple channels, that you should have the correct message to that particular channel. Okay, so there's a message to market match, essentially. So here's a breakdown of what I found to be a really good match. So on YouTube, for example, I always have a call to action to almost all of my videos. Almost all. There's probably some you could find that don't. But as a general rule, if I'm doing a video, I have a call to action in it. But that's not the important part. The important part is I've got great content in my videos. Okay, videos that people get value from watching, from investing their time in. So that's one example. With social media, it's a little different. You know, people go and use social media because they want to be social, right? So don't be cramming down, marketing messages to them. Be social, interact with them, be helpful to them. Yes, here as well, obviously, you need to be providing great content. With your emails, I do a lot of offers as well as great content, okay, within my email marketing. And the RSS and blog, because, by the way, that's just yet another channel, is when you publish a blog post, people are subscribed to your RSS feed. That's great branding, and again, great content to those folks. Now, one of the hugely important rules in multi-channel marketing is, again, you want to move as many people from channels that you don't control, okay, like Facebook and Twitter, to channels that you do control for the most part, like email, text marketing, and your RSS and your blog feed, or that feed, okay? So this is, I want you to asterisk that one in your notes because it's really critical that you understand that. Again, I'll say it again. Move as many people from channels that you don't control to channels that you do, all right? Now, I still believe that email is the queen or the king of marketing. Email for sure is still my strongest and best channel. And if you don't already have an email list, that is the first place to start. Okay, start yesterday. In my opinion, it's still that important. All right, really important that you do that. But next to email, text marketing is the princess or the prince, okay? Because text marketing is, and this actually had proved itself to me today. A text message marketing is the most responsive marketing available to you, okay? And you can do that. You can actually set this up. In fact, I want to have Mike. Can you come on and because this is really his forte, and I'd really like you, Mike, to chat about some of these great benefits. For example, the fact that it's proven that there's for most folks there's about a 90-second average response time to a text. So, Mike, you've got the floor, my friend.
All right. Can you hear me and still see your slide?
I can hear you, and I don't know whether folks can still see the slide.
Because I wanted to take turn my camera off because we need to stay on your slide. What does
Yep, we're good, Mike.
Okay, good. All right, since I'm not controlling the slides there, I see David, but I don't see the slide. Let's see here.
It says 90 seconds to response, Mikey.
Right, I know. Well, it switched back to David. At any rate, the thing is, go ahead and go to the next slide. I mean, what you're saying here is that here's what's happened in the last few years, less than 4 or 5 years. The internet is in everybody's pocket. The reality is when I got started in the internet, it was desktops, and then the big thing was laptops came along, and the fact that you could actually have a portable computer was pretty cool, but it wasn't really a mobile internet, not like it is today. And the cell phone is mobile internet, and so that is the device that you can market to with all forms of media, whether it be social media, video, even buy buttons. In fact, I saw a recent ad where PayPal has become completely mobile compatible, so they're encouraging you to purchase on your phone. So hopefully everybody's in agreement that the cell phone is not just a phone, it's the internet in everybody's pocket. And text messages and emails and everything that you do on cell phones, that's where people are with, 24 hours a day. They're not like in the old days when you sent an email and you had to wait till somebody got home and checked their desktop. I mean, that doesn't exist anymore. So go ahead and go to the next slide here, and we'll talk about.
Well, in the thing here, Mikey, too, is that it's like me, and I find myself doing the same doggone thing. The average person checks their phone 150 times per day. Okay, in other words, folks are always looking at that doggone phone, and I include myself in that community.
Guys, I thought my phone was dead, and it turned out to be Pilot Air, but I was kind of panicked because I wasn't going to have my phone for a few hours at least.
Yeah,
and
see,
I do a lot of business on my phone.
Exactly, and that's the other thing is that the phone is, again, it serves as our alarm clock. I mean, in the morning, so it's generally within arm's reach a majority of the day. In fact, statistics show that most people have their mobile phones within arm's reach 14 hours a day, and for me, that's probably 24 hours of the day. All right, and I suspect many people are the same. And the other thing, too, that is really, really remarkable is that there's actually, I'll preface this by saying, because this is a really important point, if you are sending text that people actually want and that they get benefit from, there's a very, very small opt-out rate. In fact, statistics show that 5% of people or less opt out of SMS marketing campaigns. And the really cool thing is that most of your messages are actually read by about 90%. Okay, are read within 3 minutes of the text hitting you. Okay, and if you've got an iPhone, it's just like I got a text a little while ago from a friend of mine. It displays on my. I don't even have to go to my text message app. It just displays on the front of my screen, and so it's no wonder there's huge opt-in rates. And in other words, there's so many possibilities here. Mike, if you could talk about this, but for, again, building your list to promote your business, you could promote affiliate products and webinars, and you could, of course, send directly and instantly to cell phones. You could send ebooks. Mike showed me how to do that. Videos even, because now we're HTML5 compliant, right? So that means, your videos on YouTube, you could, people could watch them on their iPads and their iPhones and other smartphones. It's great. Audio sounds. In other words, you could send essentially anything that you would be able to send to a laptop. You could send via text message. That is powerful. Okay, that is super powerful. Did you have anything else you wanted to say on that, Mikey?
Well, one of the things I want to remind folks is that the reason this is such a huge opportunity right now is that email got ruined, in my opinion, because it was free, so spammers could, illegally, even though they're not in our country, they're probably in all kinds of places all over the world, they can bombard your inbox with so much junk that you didn't subscribe for. That good emails get lost in the noise. Well, the spammers, they really thought this through. Text messaging is not free. It will cost you some money to send a message. So the spammers don't like sending out text messages, because if they send out 10 million text messages, it's going to cost them some change. And so therefore, they're still clouding the issue over at email. So here's the benefits. Smaller lists can be more responsive. So in other words, if you build a list of 700 people, it might be more responsive than 7,000 emails or 70,000 emails.
That's right.
Because the truth is, the people who are getting that message have opted in. They know they can opt out, and there's nothing you can do as a broadcaster of text message marketing to keep sending those people messages. One, the system prevents that, and plus, to legally do it, you are going to be paying to send those messages. So guess what? I would rather pay for 700 targeted people than send to 7,000 people for free but get no response. So anyway, that's why this opportunity that I saw is like, okay, bring this as another powerful channel, because there is there's a lot of things that I'm seeing from Google, and especially in one of my other passions, which this may or may not connect with y'all, but I'm going to bring it up, is that local businesses, local search on mobile devices like iPhones and Android phones, 94% of the searches in Google are for local businesses. And I'm going to tell you how that ties into this plugin that makes the magic, and I want to show you how easy this is. Number one, local search is so huge, and when everybody in the internet marketing space hopefully is familiar with WordPress. You know, I know David has WordPress websites. Daniel, we all use WordPress to run our websites. So that's why this is one of the only few text messaging systems that is legal that allows you to use your WordPress website to manage lists for yourself, and then the business opportunity is managing it for other affiliate marketers, and especially for local businesses like your local restaurants, nail salons, chiropractors, you name it. So anyway, this plugin that Daniel and I created is called Real Fast Text Marketing, hence the name down there. And what I love about this plugin is it runs entirely on a WordPress website. So in other words, let's say you have your domain, yourblog.com, or even get a dedicated hosted WordPress installation at yourwebsite.com. And you know, every good host out there, all of them have the ability to put in WordPress. Make sure you you do it securely. Like, you know, we've all had experiences with you know, not having a secure WordPress website. But with a secure WordPress website, this plugin will allow you to do something to build a list that the other systems out there that cost way too much money will allow you to do. Number one, see, I'm going to admit my age. I'm 60, and there's probably some of us out there that are 60 plus. Well, guess what? The only reason we're texting is because our kids are texting us. And, you know, so we had to accept the fact our kids won't call us. They'll send us a text message with all the little acronyms that I have to look up in Google sometimes. I know some of them, but there was one my daughter sent me the other day, and I said, okay, I hope this is an acronym, and I found out what it was. So, but my point is the younger generation, the under 35, they're just texting like crazy, and they like, you know, that's their form of that's their mode of communication. But our generation, people we're still marketing to, struggle with joining a text message list. The way it used to be done, and it's still done with a lot of the systems out there, is you have to text what's called a keyword to a 5-digit short code. In other words, like text NAMS member to 55231. You know, that's not a real one, but that's an example. Okay, I've seen at first I struggled with it, and I see a lot of people struggle with it. So here's why text message marketing can fail for businesses. You can't build a list because you have to have people opt in from their cell phone. You cannot opt people into your list from your phone. So in other words, it's impossible to join a list unless they're physically doing it from their cell phone. Now, here's what this system that we use does. It allows you to do what's called a 10-digit opt-in, dialing a phone number. Now, guess what? Everybody can dial a phone number. So all you have to do to build your list is get people to dial a phone number. And we've tested this in a multitude of ways. You know, one way was from Daniel's passive landing page where it says, you know, scan this QR code, which dials the phone number, or dial this phone number, and then that let people know they're opting in. And then instantly, when they dial that phone number, in fact, I encourage you to dial that phone number that you see there, 770-999-0637. Or Daniel, what's your number, the 210 number?
Doggone. I think it's, let's see here. It is. I didn't actually memorize it. It's 240-770-0010. So 240
Okay.
770-0010.
210.
Mm-hmm.
What was the rest of it? Tell me one more time.
240 770-0010.
240 770 0010. So everybody can dial that phone number, and the minute it dials, it's going to ring here. I'm going to let it ring.
Hi, Daniel Hall here. Welcome to my text message.
And there is the verbal MP3 file that you upload to WordPress, and then instantly here on my phone, there is a text message. And in that text message, I can link to anything on the internet, videos, ebooks, you name it. And that's how you can build a subscriber. You can see there, those become touchable links. And that's all possible with nothing more than this system with this plugin in WordPress. Go to the next slide, Daniel.
Okay.
So just to give you an example, and I've tested this, and it works. You can pre-program an auto response short link, because you got a limited number of characters. You only have 160 characters that you can do in a broadcast text message. But you can make a short link to a mobile responsive website with a video. So in other words, it can be an affiliate link, so that when people tap that link and buy with the mobile compatible PayPal, you can make affiliate sales by people calling a phone number. Sales videos will play right there on the phone. And one of the other things, one of my inspirations that I talked to Daniel about when we started talking about this, you're standing on stage as a presenter and you're an author, and you say, how would everybody like to have a free copy of my ebook? Well, you say, just dial this number, put this phone number up on the slides, and say, pull out your cell phones and dial it right now, and on your phone, I will send you a link to a video or an opt-in page or whatever it is you want. And we've tested this from the stage, and you'll be amazed how many people will pull that phone out and dial that phone number. And you just be honest and tell them, by dialing this phone number, you're agreeing to be on my list. You can opt out at any time. It's so easy, and it's so affordable, because the other systems cost so much to set up that people get frustrated, because here's the magic: building the list. And when people have a difficulty, I've actually worked with some customers that tried the old systems, and they were paying, the average system could cost anywhere from $60 to $100 a month. But here's the problem: they go by 3 months, they got 5 people on their list. They're going, this is just not worth doing. But with this system, you're renting a phone number for $2 a month, and it costs you a penny a message. So if you don't send any messages, you're only out $2 that month. It gives you time to build your list, and because it's affordable. Then when you send broadcast messages, and let's say you have 700 to 1,000 people on your text message list, it's a penny a message. So you can touch 1,000 cell phones for $10, and you're perfectly legal. And then you, like I said, you got that incredible response. Go ahead and go to the next slide.
So, we have a question here that might be applicable to this.
Okay.
So John is saying, how does it play with other SMS services like Tropo that they might have embedded in a third-party program, like Webinar Jam?
Well, to answer that question, I don't know how the other systems. I'm not familiar with that system. I just know that there are other systems out there that use the short code, which are more expensive.
Okay.
And so, we built this system with a company from the ground up, and I don't know if it's compatible with other. Links are compatible. So in other words, if we posted a link in the chat box, we could send people to a page where they could dial the phone number, or we could display the phone number. So there's ways you can use it with other systems. You're seeing more and more text messaging getting integrated with companies out there, because this is still in its infancy. So I don't know if I can answer that question, because I'm just not familiar with the other systems.
Got it.
You want to talk about the business opportunity with this, Mikey?
Yes, absolutely. Well, let's say you get familiar with how Daniel and I are building our list. Daniel is building his list to be an affiliate marketer, a webinar promoter, a product creator, info product creator and promoter. Daniel, by choice, doesn't do a lot with local businesses. However, I've embraced that. I really enjoy working with small businesses. It gets me out of the house. I like going and going up and down the street and talking to these local businesses. And one of the things that I have been making money with this process is, I build WordPress website for all my customers. And then I tell them, you need to build you need to build an email list, and you need to build a text message list, and you need to build a social media presence. Kind of all of the 3 tiers that Daniel has talked about. But I'm doing this as a service for local businesses, and I get paid.
The thing about it, Mikey, and I want everyone listening to see, is that if you work with clients of any kind, right? You don't have, it doesn't have to be local, okay? But if you work with authors, if you work with other affiliate marketers, if you run a consultancy of any kind or a training company of any kind, if you're working with other people as they are your client, this business opportunity applies. That's what we're trying to say.
Absolutely, and I just wanted to use that the local business is a low-hanging fruit, but the reality is that anybody, if you're a consultant to a coach or an author or a trainer or somebody who is wanting to know how to touch their customers more to this device, then you have the opportunity to buy phone numbers through the system and charge $4 and $5 a month for the phone numbers. In other words, you pay for the phone numbers, and you can charge your clients whatever you want, because this system is such a bottom-end price for the lease of the phone number and the messages that I have clients that I buy the phone numbers through the system, that I lease them to the customers that want me to do it for them, and then I charge them for the messages sent, and then they charge me to write the sales copy. So in other words, there's 3 business opportunities as a done-for-you opportunity that you can manage for any kind of customer, offline or online. And I just had to say that this inspiration came about from the fact that I have been doing it with local businesses, but by no means does that say that's the only opportunity.
Okay, cool. So, and then the other thing, Mikey, is let's talk, since we're talking about local businesses, and again, you don't have to, here's Fishtails. Can you tell folks about this particular client?
Well, and this is a local business, but I'm going to quote something. Recently, I spoke at Dan Kennedy's event, and I'm a big believer in Dan's marketing philosophy. I can't even say it.
Philosophy. Yes.
There you go. There's the word. Tongue tied. But he just said, he says, I don't care whether you're an online or offline marketer, or if you're brick and mortar or you're whatever. He says, if you think your business is different, you're sadly mistaken. He says, all businesses, all entrepreneurs want happy paying customers. So the principles that work for everybody in marketing, they work for everybody. So the client case study here, that was one of the first people that I did this for, is a local restaurant here on Lake Lanier called Fishtails. Taking Daniel there. David, when you come to Georgia, we'll go to Fishtails. In fact, we're going tonight if you can make it.
Well, I wish I could.
But anyway, Fishtails is just, hey, it's a place I go because I love it. It's right here on the lake. And the owner, Dale, let's see if we can get back to the slide there, because I'm seeing David's smiling face, but it's not showing the slide, and we're going to want to do that. Daniel, say something.
Okay, yeah, you're over here, and then hopefully you can see the Fishtails. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be up on the screen. I've got a white box. It should be up.
Okay, well, it's not, so say something. Every time Daniel speaks, it comes back. There you go.
How's that?
Okay, anyway, you can go to this. It's fishtailslakelanier.com. This is a WordPress website, and what we did was we said you need to build a list of your customers, your happy paying customers, so that you can tell them about what's going on here, whatever it is you want to. So maybe go to the next slide, Daniel.
Got it. You got it.
And so we plugged this into the website, and you can see there, it's a little small for me to see, but by having it so affordable, he didn't cancel. By it being built into a WordPress website, then he's not going to quit it, because the list started getting bigger, and because he was able to grab these phone numbers. Now, you don't know who these people are, because there's privacy issues, but you have the ability to send them an auto response text message with links if you choose, and then whenever at will, you can send a text message to all those phones as a broadcast right from in the WordPress dashboard. And you can see there's examples of how you can pre-program your auto-response messages, and maybe go to the next slide. So writing and sending messages is all done within the familiar dashboard of WordPress.
Yeah, just right across there. You just do your, so this is your autoresponder. As you can see, new subscriber, current subscriber, a resubscriber, and stop messages. And again, like I did when Mike demoed it, you could actually upload a voice greeting, as well as that text message going back out. Okay, that's the beautiful thing about that, right?
Right.
So at any rate, so this is essentially. Did you want to say anything else on that, Mikey?
Well, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. It is the ability to reserve phone numbers all over the world and send text message marketing right from a WordPress website. And the opportunities are to do it for your own business and do it as a service for others, whether they're online or offline businesses. And it's probably the most affordable system out there. So.
Yeah, Mike, we have a question here.
By the way, that you control yourself. That's another real important key. Go ahead, David. I'm sorry.
So we just have a question of, does this work in the U.S. only, or is it international as well?
It's worldwide. They have phone numbers all over the world.
Excellent.
Now,
Thank you.
I'm not sure that I'd have to check with the developers, but from country to country, to get a text message from a UK phone to a Canadian phone, there might be some blocking going on there. But within your own country, and definitely US and UK and Australia, there's no issues. You can get local numbers all over the world from the system.
So essentially, what Mike and I have decided to do was to develop this and use the technology, because I've been using this technology for about 1.5 years now, Mike. We said, hey, we have got to bring this out and allow people the same type of power that we have. And it's because it is so doggone inexpensive. I mean, you can, as long as you can, afford $2 a month. And I don't think there's anyone here that can't afford $2 a month. You could start building your list in a very low risk situation. Okay. So what we decided to do is we decided to actually build a plugin around this and a training called Real Fast Text Marketing. And essentially, you're going to be able to easily use the step-by-step training that shows you how to set up your own private text message system using any WordPress site that you own, all within an hour or less. Okay, that's essentially our unique selling proposition. This is not difficult to set up at all. Okay, as long as you can upload a plugin to WordPress, you're in good shape. Okay, and of course the secret to all this success is quite simple. Real Fast Text Marketing membership does two things really, really well. First, it provides detailed step-by-step guidance, okay, on how to set up your WordPress site, again, within an hour or less. And second, it shows you how to build a list with that system very, very quickly, okay? You see, me and Mike designed Real Fast Text Marketing from the ground up. So it's absolutely foolproof. I mean, it's baby simple. In fact, it's so simple that you could do it. All right, even if you've never even uploaded a plugin before, and I believe that's you could do this. All right. In fact, the simplicity with this, if you follow our videos, okay, and what we show you, you just follow the steps. It's easy to install that very simple and inexpensive plugin so that you could have a powerful, you control it. Okay, again, remember my experience with the almost losing my email account. This is a thing that you control, this text messaging system, and you can have that up and going in no time at all. So there are essentially three options that I have for you that we've thought this through, and we're thinking, okay, so what are most people going to need? Well, there's three options, and if you want to go, by the way, to realfasttextmarketing.com/David, and David, if you could put that somehow into the chat area so people could click on that, that would be awesome. But essentially, there's three options. First, there's the personal one-site only license. Okay. Then there's the Business Unlimited license, and then we have an actual done-for-you option as well. And let me explore each one of these. Let's first talk about the personal license, option 1. It's essentially what you're going to get is how to build a text message list on autopilot, your own text message marketing autoresponder and broadcast system, okay, with that real fast text marketing WordPress plugin. But with this license, you only get to use it on one personal site only. Okay, that's it. So, and we'll talk about why that matters in just a second. But you're going to get that. You're going to get the complete plugin installation and setup instructions. And also, I'm going to throw in a bonus training for you called Real Fast Buy Now. Okay? And what this is essentially some of my secrets on converting. It's some of my conversion from prospect to money in the bank, okay, secrets that I've put into the Real Fast Buy Now training, and that in it of itself is a $47 value, just that one thing. And of course, there's a 30-day no questions asked guarantee. The investment for the option 1 personal license is only $97. Okay, really, it's a no-brainer deal. Yes, there is that $2 a month thereafter. We don't get any of that, by the way. That's just the rental on the telephone number, and then 1 cent a message thereafter. Okay, so that's option 1. Now, option 2 is the business license, and we believe this is the very best deal. All right, and with this, you're going to get the Real Fast Text Marketing WordPress plugin, which you can install on unlimited sites, including on your client sites. Both the text marketing autoresponder and system. Okay, so this is not something that essentially, so if you're working with clients, if you're working with local businesses, if you're working with anyone else who wants this system, you can use this plugin, okay, under this license and use it for them. And if that's not of interest to you, you still probably want option 2 because it allows you to set up an additional number, okay, for your own sites. So if you're in 2 different niches, for example, or 3 different niches, you could actually set this up so that you have 2 or 3 different numbers working, okay, with this option. Also, you're going to get how to create recurring income running a text marketing autoresponder service. And, of course, how to build a text marketing list on autopilot as well, much the same way that have done. And then also you're going to get the Real Fast Buy Now training, and which is again a $47 value, and the Real Fast email marketing training. Okay, so this is a training I sell all the time. It's all my email marketing tricks, how I built a list, how I write emails, how often, all of that stuff is in Real Fast Email Marketing. We sell that all the time for $97. You're going to get that. Plus, you get a 30-day no questions asked guarantee for this, and this is only $197 for the option 2 business license. And as I said, this is by far the best deal of what we have for you. Now, if you're a technophobe, or if you just don't have the time, right, or don't want to learn how to put something in, install a WordPress plugin, then we have a done-for-you option as well, in which you get everything listed in option 2, but you also get the complete done-for-you installation of the plugin on one site, on a one-on-one help, teaching you how to install on, that, as well as we're going to show you how to install the plugin on clients' sites if you want to do that. Okay, if that's something that appeals to you. Then you're going to get the 30-day money-back guarantee. However, there's a caveat here. When this 30-day guarantee works as long as we haven't performed the service, because essentially this is a service offer. So no one gets refunded for this one after that service is rendered. Okay, so just so that you eyes wide open on that. Once we've installed it, taken our time to do that, the deal is done. All right. Then we're going to install this real fast text marketing WordPress plugin, and you get and you can again install it on unlimited sites of any of your client sites or any of your own sites. Now, obviously, you can't take the plugin and sell the plugin outright, right? But you that, in other words, the license doesn't cover that. But you can take it and put it on your client sites and show them how to run it, or better yet, you set it up on your own server for them, and you charge them a monthly fee, $25, $30, $50 a month, whatever you work out. And again, the place where you grab all this is at realfasttextmarketing.com/David. Okay, now, why would you get this done for you option? Again, for people that don't have the time or the inclination to set up the system, although it is very easy, and for people who are technophobes or whatever, struggle with technology, or people who don't even have their WordPress blog. This is another great way. Mike will actually help you set up your WordPress blog as part of the Done For You service as well. Now, we're going to go ahead and take questions, but I want to give you one more call to action at realfasttextmarketing.com/David. And that message, or that's on your screen right now. And I would, if you're interested in getting this, go ahead and grab it while the grabbing is good, because this is a very special deal. So, David, back over to you.
So thank you, Daniel. I have this up on my site. It's easy to see what the three options are and which one you need to go for. It is easy to see that option 2 is the best deal on this for anybody who is even considering local marketing, particularly, because this is a great opportunity for that. Now, I want to say something else about this too. I'm gonna get this myself, because I have been paying $50 a month for text marketing service plus 1 cent per message per email. And so that's adding up a lot. Once I get this installed on my site, you know, I'm going to be able to eliminate a monthly fee. And you guys are offering a great service to be able to do this for a one-time payment. So I can't say enough how awesome this is as a deal to reduce monthly fees for sure. So let me just, we got some questions here that we want to get back to. So let's see. Stan says, can it work with an HTML5 site too? Now, I don't know if he means an HTML5 static site or non-WordPress site. I'm assuming it does not work with a non-WordPress site, Mike.
No, it has to be a WordPress install.
Okay. But if it's a WordPress install with HTML5, it'll work just fine.
Well, one of the things that's been implemented with WordPress is that there's a lot of HTML5 features such as audio and video and the other type of advantages to HTML5. But WordPress 4.0, it's been tested with that, and because it's running on WordPress, it will not work with any other type of website.
Okay. And Stan is also saying here, once you purchase it, can you automatically become an affiliate, or do you have to apply for that or anything?
Daniel?
Yes, you could definitely become an affiliate. It does not happen automatically, but we could definitely make that happen if you just let us know that you want that to be. Essentially, I don't really run an affiliate business. I run a joint venture business. I work a lot with one-on-one people. I don't really invite a whole lot of people into that I don't know to promote my stuff, because I just try to run a very, very high integrity business, and I know there's some folks, as you well know, David, out there that don't subscribe to that philosophy, and so anyway, I keep it closed. But yes, if you're a member of NAMS, if you're part of the NAMS community, then you are good in my book. You and I are friends, and yes, we can make you an affiliate.
Okay. And Ted says, does this plugin slow down your site at all, or are there any performance problems in WordPress?
I'm not the technical developer, but the back-end engine is doing all of the phone processing. All WordPress is doing is basically being the control panel. So when it's not being used, it's not doing anything.
Okay.
By the way, I've been using this for, as I say, probably a year and a half. or so, and I have not noticed any slowdowns at all.
Okay. Rolf is asking, can I add people manually to this system?
Well, one of the protection issues.
No.
Yeah, okay.
Answer.
No. Well, but one of the protection issues with text messaging marketing, they have to opt in from their phone.
Right.
So in other words, if you're standing next to David, I'm next to David. David, I'd like to opt you into my list. Hand me your phone. What are you doing, Mike? I'm opting you into my text message list. Then, okay, that's acceptable. If David says, give me my phone back and don't dare that phone number, then David and I have an argument, don't we?
We do. Okay, and he also asked, can you put people in different lists?
Yes. My recommendation is build them by phone number. But yes, there is a way within the system to segment lists, but then you complicate the sign-up process, meaning that they have to send a keyword to the 10-digit number, which is possible, but I don't recommend it. Phone numbers.
That's why. I'm sorry, Mike, but that's why most folks really need option 2, so that you could use it to get as many phone numbers as you want. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, the phone numbers are so darn cheap. Segment them by phone numbers. You can have in option 2, you can have as many phone numbers as you want to pay for. And if for some reason you want to release the list and the phone numbers, you can actually give it back to the system, and you don't have to pay for it.
Okay.
But you start out with a couple of numbers, and then you can put the plug. If you got multiple lists, I segment it by websites and phone numbers, not by trying to take one phone number and break it into a bunch of lists.
John asked, do you guys offer any guidance on this as a service? If we have already collected phone numbers, is there a way to bring them into the system? So that kind of answers that.
It goes back to the only legal opt-in system is from that. Even with text messaging, you have to do it physically from that device.
Right.
Believe me, if you could just import phone numbers into a text message list, the spammers would have won.
Right. Right. Okay. And let's see, there was something I was going to ask you as well. How deep is your messaging? Do you send one message with one response, or can you have multiple follow-on messages?
It's not an autoresponder. It's one greeting for signing up, and then everything else is a broadcast message.
Okay.
And so it is not an autoresponder. And one of the things that we talk about in the training is that you don't want to text message daily, because I think you're going to just anger your audience. So use it wisely and sparingly. But the thing, you also go back to the original thing. It's a much more responsive system, and it is just one channel of marketing. So just be wise with it. It's not illegal to send a text message every day, but I'll guarantee you may get complaints.
Yeah.
And a lot of stop messages.
I probably send one maybe once a month, maybe one a month. But when I do, it's kind of like, okay, what's the one thing that's gonna, whatever. What's the one thing I really want people to see this month? Whatever it is, maybe it's a training, maybe it's a blog post, maybe it's some goodie I want to give them, or maybe it's a webinar I want to send them to. But I'm very judicious with actually sending them, because I know people are going to open it, people are going to click on that link, and people are going to do whatever I ask them to do, within reason, right? Because I've got a targeted list on that.
Okay, so Ted is asking, what do you find work then between messages in your system?
The other channels.
Okay. So you're saying mix your channels and use this as one of those channels.
That's the whole idea of multi-channel marketing. Yes.
Okay, good. Good. All right. And let's see, time between texts, that is, he was saying, so yeah, and that was your point as well, was to mix your channels before you do a lot of texting out. That 1 cent per message is 1 cent per subscriber per message, right?
Right. Right. If you have 1,000 subscribers and you send them one message, it's $10.
Okay.
If you send the list 10 messages, it's $100.
Right. Okay. Good. So this goes back to your point, Daniel, which is to get them out of the text messaging system, or not get them out, but to duplicate them in your email with an opt-in is the key.
Exactly.
Yeah, got it.
Exactly. Or your Facebook, or wherever else, right? You want essentially what you want is all of your community in all of your channels. Now, obviously, that never happens, but that's what you're striving for, right? Because you want as many different touch points to them. You want to, as quickly as possible, achieve that rule of 7. That 7 contacts with whatever that one message is. Okay. This gives you another way to do that, and it's super, super responsive when you do.
Okay, great. And so people need to go to realfasttextmarketing.com/David to, and the link is on the screen and in the chat box, and it's at the top of the chat box over here, to go check out those 3 options and choose the one that's right for you. So that would be option 1, be personal. Option 2 would be the best deal, which is the unlimited personal and client use. And option 3 is the done-for-you service. So these, if you are, like I said, if you are in any way going to do multiple lists or multiple, you know, I've got 140 lists in my autoresponder system, and those are for different buyers and different prospect returns. So you may end up wanting a bunch of phone numbers. So you definitely want to think about the option 2, which is to be able to add multiple phone numbers into that system.
Yeah, and again, the really cool thing about this whole idea is it could be self-funded, right? Because it is not a whole, it's not paying like you are, David. It's not paying $50, $60, or $70 a month plus a penny a message. People can essentially take their time and build their list, because I've built my list 100% passively, just hanging out on my thank you page, right? That's it.
Yep.
And I think we have over, I just looked, like 700 folks that have just come in on that. But yet they're the most responsive 700 people that I've got probably in my entire list.
Right. Right. And you guys made a really good point. It is, your phone is always in your hand. I tell you, it's never far from me. I'm always interacting with people.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm talking with you, David, on Facebook, and we're messaging back and forth, and you're on your mobile. Well, at least it says you're on your mobile.
Yep,
so.
That's true. And I was I was messaging you yesterday from the Verizon store when I got my phone back, and I was messaging you from home last night. So yes, absolutely, that's what I do. I keep it I don't even put it in my pocket. I just keep it in my hand.
And you and a bazillion other people. That's right. The power of this deal.
Yep.
That's where you want your messages showing up, right? That's what real fast text marketing allows you to do in a very, very low risk, low investment type of way. But yet it can absolutely blow the lid off your profits as you go along, right? As you build that list, because remember, everyone listening, if you're following David, yes, we need money now. I agree. We all need money now. But if we want the really, really big money in our businesses, we need to be building for tomorrow as well as using the technology today. And this technology within real fast text marketing essentially allows you to do that. It allows you to again build trust. For example, if you were to go to my number again, and I challenge you, go ahead and go there, try that. If you could dial 240-770-0010, and when you do that, yes, you get put onto my text message list, but you also get a grab bag of instant goodies worth hundreds of dollars, okay? And this is a great way to build relationships with you. And so you can do the same and build great relationships with your target market.
Yep, and people are catching on to this, Daniel, because, I get my hair cut at the same place every month, and I get a text message from them that reminds me. That's the way they're using it. They're messaging with my appointment time via text message, and somebody is reselling that. So they're not paying 1 cent. Somebody is reselling that to them and making money on each message that they send.
Exactly. Yeah, there's so many uses of this, and really, you can look like a superstar, a superstar marketer, just by using this, and that's really the great thing about it as well. I mean, in the long and the short of it is, when it comes right down to it, this is a people business. It is a relationship business, and if you are building great relationships with your community, and have the ability to reach out and connect with them in multitudinous, various ways, like we've showed you here today, then you're really doing a lot for your business and building a real business, right? A business that can sustain you, that can make you wealthy, okay? And that's really what Mike and I are all about. That's what we want for you. Mike started today's presentation saying that he's doing it from his deck off his very lovely home on Lake Lanier up near Atlanta, Georgia. Well, the beautiful thing is that this lifestyle, using techniques like we're showing here within Real Fast Text Marketing, essentially allows you the ability to build that kind of lifestyle for yourself. Okay, and when it comes right down to it, that's smart. Okay, that's savvy, and that's what you want. And that's essentially what you get with Real Fast Text Marketing. And I'll just do one more call to action. If you want this very special deal, it's at realfasttextmarketing.com/David, and choose. There's 3 options there for you. There's the personal license, which allows you to put the plugin on one and only one site, or the business license, which allows you to put that plugin on any site, either yours or a client's. Okay, and why that's good for you, by the way. The option 2 is if you want to have more than one telephone number, which I think is a great idea, to at least have the ability to add additional phone numbers as time goes by, or if you work with clients at all in any situation, then you could use that. Or option 3, which is the done for you service, where you get essentially everything that's in option 2, but we actually will install it for you. We'll even install your WordPress blog if you don't have one. Okay, so that's that's the breakdown there. And again, you can look at the details on all of that at realfasttextmarketing.com/David. Okay, so with that, back over to you, David, and thanks so much for having us.
Well, I really appreciate you being here, both of you, and it was a great pleasure, and this is an awesome system for folks to check out. I hope they do by going to realfasttextmarketing.com/David, and let us know how you're using it. You may be figuring out different ways of using this to actually resell or as an investment. Ted says that amateurs think about the first offer, experts look at the long term, and I think that's exactly what you've got here is an opportunity for long term. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, David. Bye-bye.
Bye.